Hey guys, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Welcome back to my channel. So here I am back for my May Currently Inked, and I'm really excited about this one. Well, I'm excited about my Currently Inks all the time anyway. Let's get started. So the book that I'm using for my ink journal is this Galen Leather B6 leather notebook, and it has 52 GSM to Moe River paper. There's 400 pages in here, and it's only May. And I think I'm already at the halfway point for this, which is quite exciting. So let's go ahead and get started with the pens. The first pen that is inked up is my newest pen. This is my Tailored PenCo pen. Then this is in the, oh gosh, what model is this again? The Churchill model, and it is in the Honeycomb blank with the Honey Melomel. And I mean, just look at the colors of this pen. So this one was a custom that I had done by Tailored PenCo back in, I believe it was, when did I contact them? February 1st. It would have been February 1st that I contacted them, because the time it takes to create this custom, or the waiting time that they have for customs, is about 8 to 10 weeks. So what I loved about this one was that just all the colors in this pen are some of my favorite ink colors. So this is my Tailored PenCo in the Honeycomb Honey Melomel. And this has it is a fine steel Yovo nib, and it is currently inked up with Tatsuya Ume Murasaki, which was a sample given to me by Miss Marilyn Darling. Thank you very much. And I think this ink is stunning, and it matches this pen perfectly. And so far, the writing experience of this pen and this ink together are just gorgeous. Love that one. So that is my Tailored PenCo in the Honeycomb Melomel. The second pen that I have inked up is my Sailor Pro Gear Slim in the white rose gold, and it has a 21 karat rose gold nib. Like, how pretty is that? Absolutely gorgeous. And this one is, I do like the size of the Pro Gear. It's a bit wider in the body as well as in the grip section, but also this 21 karat nib, there is something about this nib that it's a little wetter, it's a little softer than the 14K nib that is on the Pro Gear Slim. Oh, look at that. So pretty and springy. So this is the Sailor Pro Gear in my white rose gold. This was a pen that I bought off of eBay actually, and it's got the 14K medium fine nib, and it is inked with Sailor Ink Studio 237. So pretty. Just look at that pink. Isn't that just a very springy color? But how I feel about my pink inks, it's not punch you in your face pink. I like pinks, but not the ones that are like so garish. All right, so this is my Sailor Pro Gear in white rose gold. The next pen in my lineup is my Pelikan M400 in the white tortoise shell, and this pen was my Grail pen, or my birthday present last year in 2022, and this has a 14 karat extra fine nib. But look at that nib, isn't that stunning? Look at the intricate work on there, and it's a two-tone nib. Really lovely. This is one of the few pens that I write with posted, just because it is a little smaller and it is lighter weight. I don't normally post my pens. two models of pens that I do post are the Pelikan M400 and my Sailor Pro Gear Slim. Those are the two pens that I have to write with posted, or else it's just too small and too light. So this is my Pelikan M400 in the white tortoise. Now, Pelikan nibs are known for being just that much wetter and broader than regular, just even regular Western nibs. But look at the difference between the extra fine and the medium fine, and even the fine Yovo. And this is inked with Ferris Wheel Press Queen and Castle. This was one that was, I think, given to me by, I think it was Cecilia a few months ago, and haven't had an excuse to use it yet, but I thought, why not? It's got a really beautiful mustardy yellow color with a pink rose gold shimmer, and I really love that. I'm gonna bring that closer to the camera so you guys can see, but look at that shimmer. So pretty. So that is the Pelikan M400 with the Ferris Wheel Press Queen and Castle. The next pen in my lineup is my Laban Rosa in Lilac, and this was one of the first pens that I purchased basically just based on its looks. I mean, just look at the resin on that. Beautiful. And this actually has a medium steel nib. It's a Bach nib. So there's, if you haven't heard of the different types of nibs, there's Bach, there's Schmidt, there's Yovo. So those are some of the bigger makers of the steel nibs, and this one has a Bach nib. And the differences between them, I don't know all of the intricacies of the differences between them, but for example, this is a Bach nib, and I will show you. This has a Yovo nib, and there are some slight differences to it, but also the way that the nib goes into the feed, and even the feed itself and the section for the feed are built slightly differently. So you can't switch a Bach into a Yovo, so you can't put this nib into this pen. So that is a whole other rabbit hole that I won't get into now. But this was a huge love of mine, or is still a love of mine. I love this pen. It's a beautiful pen. It's comfortable to hold, and this nib is just so wet and juicy and smooth for a steel nib. And I know some people have had problems with Bach nibs, but I haven't had any problems with Bach nibs. So this is my Laban Rosa in Lilac, and you can tell with my writing that the medium nib is almost too broad for my writing. And this has Birmingham Pen Co. Arugula. Now it's actually feathering a little bit here. I think it's the combination of the wet pen and the wet ink and the broader nib that is making it do that. So we'll see what I think of this combination at the end of the month. Maybe it's only drier inks that I have to put in this pen, because you can see that feathering happening already. So that is my Laban Rosa in Lilac. This next pen is one of my newest pens. It is my Hogtown Pens in the taper medium model, using the Turned Pen Co. on the edge of Oopsie. Yes, that was a whole mouthful to say for this pen, but I will include a card in the corner here so you can see the unboxing and the review of this pen. But what I love is that the maker, the person who actually turned this pen, is Canadian based. So this pen is actually the pen that I will be using in my A6 5-year journal for the month of May. I choose a different pen and different ink every month in my A6 5-year journal, and I actually keep track of it in the back of the A6 5-year journal, so I know what I've used and what I've thought of each combination as well. And now that I'm in my 2nd year of the A6 5-year journal, it's so cool to go back and see the different pens I used last year, and then, you know, have it contrast with the pens that I'm using this year. And this is on the edge of oopsie. And this has an extra fine Yovo nib. And this currently has Pilot, Hiroshizuku, Sui, Gyoku. And I think that is the one, like a really great match for the colors on this pen. And Terry was nice enough to send me the extra fine nib. I sent him back, I think it was the medium nib, because he had sent it with the medium nib originally, so he sent me a new nib and it is fantastic. But look at the color of the ink compared to the color on that pen. It is a great match. So that is my Hogtown Pens. This next pen was actually, I think, one of the first hand-turned pens that I ever purchased. It is my F3 pens, and it's the, oh, I can't remember, it's the Model 3 in the Moonlit Raden. So this is a Jonathan Brooks blank in the Moonlit Raden, and it's just stunning, absolutely stunning. And it currently has a fine Yovo nib. And I tried to find an ink that would actually match this blank. And I think I found a pretty good one. Now I do have to say, with this pen, while it is beautiful, the shape of it may not be working well with my hand. The more that I try different pens and try different shapes, I am realizing what fits best in my hand. And this is in the Moonlit Raden. And for me, the pen has to be built a specific way. This has a fine nib. It has to be built a specific way for me to for it to be comfortable for me. And the way that the pen is in my hand and where that step up is, and actually the difference between the body as well as the grip section makes it slightly uncomfortable to write with. Whereas if I'm comparing it to the Hogtown Pens, you can tell this one is slightly narrower, but there is less of a step between the grip section and the body, versus the F3 pens. There is a larger step between the grip section and the body. So that difference, I think, really affects the comfort level for me with a pen. So this has, oh my gosh, what does this have in it? Sailor with Tinterias. I love that. Agave. This was a sample sent to me quite a few months ago, and I've been waiting for a time to use it, and I thought this was the perfect match. And this nib is lovely and smooth and wet, but it's just the feel of the pen itself. I'm gonna give it a try for the rest of this month, and we'll see how I fare. I'll let you know how this feels at the end of the month. So this is my Moonlit Raden F3 pens. So the last of my currently inked pens is this one from Whim Woodworks. And this is in the Cool Tone Primary Manipulation by Jonathan Brooks. And I mean, the colors of this pen, I don't know if I'm doing it justice on here, but look at those swirls. Just the perfect amount of the white and all of the beautiful pinks and purples. It's such a gorgeous pen, but also this pen in my hand fits beautifully. I absolutely love the way this pen feels in my hand. This currently has a Bock extra fine nib. This originally came with a medium Bock nib, which I had ground into a stub nib by Jack Hernandez, but I ended up buying some Bock nibs from Penrealm, and he had them all tuned and smoothed for me, so I wanted to have a Bock extra fine nib, so that's what I put on here. And the experience so far has been so lovely. And there was a time where I can even think back to it, it's like last summer, where extra fine nibs were too fine for me, and the ones that I was writing with at the time were just scratchy. I did not like them, but I am now getting back into those extra fines and absolutely loving them. Oh, if you heard that, that was Lucy groaning under my desk. She's taking a nap. So this is my On a Whim Woodworks, and Alan of On a Whim Woodworks is absolutely lovely to work with. And this is my Cool Tone primary manipulation with an extra fine Bach nib. And it is currently inked with Tachia Naka Murasaki. Another sample given to me by the lovely Miss Marilyn Darling. Thank you very much. And I thought this purple matched perfectly well with this pen. Beautiful. And so far, the writing experience in here is smooth and lovely. Can't wait to write with this one. So that is my On a Whim Woodworks in the Cool Tone primary manipulation. Stay. So those are my currently inked pens for the month of May. I'm really excited to be using these, but also I'm realizing there are two new pens this month that I've added to the lineup, and I'm actually very, very excited to use both of those. What are you guys inking up this month, and do you feel like these combinations, the combination of the ink color with the pen, is a good match? Let me know down in the comments below. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It actually really does help me out, and I love meeting more people who are into this hobby just as much as I am. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have yourselves a great day.